We're back. So I told you I covered some events. We did that. We had the one in Canada, and I also covered one in Detroit, Motor City Casino. I want to talk about that one. I want you saw the Serbian Center stuff. This was a wash for me. I'm so embarrassed about how badly this went, but I also want to present this to you and for myself so that I can learn from this. And someone might be trying to do what I'm trying to do right now, and this might like help them avoid that mistake. So let's talk about it. I am sitting there contacting fighters on this card, just looking them up off of Tapology and saying, who's gonna let me film for them? Who's gonna let me? I'm not even thinking in like from my mind state, I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna charge the person who gets me into this event, but I'm also gonna collect a whole bunch of footage of everybody else. And if they want it, then I'm gonna charge them for it. You see what I'm saying? So it's like, all right, I did you a solid because you got me in. I'm not going to charge you for that. So I'm contacting different people and blah, blah, blah. Nobody's getting back to me. 2 days before the event hits, Aaron Ward, he's on the fight card. He's the co-main event, I believe. This man hits you back. He's like, hey, I already got media, blah, 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 but you can come through and scoop. So I'm like, great, bet, I'm going to come. Then he messages me back. And he's like, hey, just to let you know, I can't put you on my guest list. It's already filled up. Whoop! Red flag right there. Why is that a red flag? Because if they don't list you, you can't be listed as media. You're basically you're basically in the water and you ain't got a leg to stand on. You're in the water. So I'm thinking to myself, I gotta find someone who's gonna put me on this. So he's like, oh, I don't know if this person is his manager or if it's a training partner or a coach or whatever. He gives me contact information for this other guy. I forget his name off the top of my head. I'm not gonna say it anyway. Doesn't matter. He's like, contact him. He'll get you on somebody's list. So I contact him. He doesn't get back to me. The day of the event, I'm there showing up. I'm expecting him to get back to me. Then he hits me back. He's like, hey, or were you able to get in? I'm like, no, I'm sitting at the because there's a different entrance that the fighters and people like that go into besides everybody else. So I'm chilling there, trying to get in. They're like, hey, we can't get you in, blah, blah, blah. So I talked to another person before he calls me, taking a step back. And he was like, they're not gonna let you in, they're not gonna be able to let you in, but I'm gonna talk to the promoter and see if he can get you in. So I'm thinking, ain't no way the promoter is gonna take time out of his day on fight night to come let an independent contractor come in here and do this. I'm just like, it ain't gonna work. It ain't going down like that. So I'm trying to think of plan. I'm like, can I go talk to somebody else? But what if I talk to someone else who's on an opposing team and I get in? I was just like, that might be a situation I don't want to be a part of. So I'm sitting there just thinking of all the scenarios, and finally another guy walks up who works for the venue. He was like, "Hey, I just wanted to let you know we can't let you in." Blah 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 blah. Blah. I'm sorry, it's just such a short notice. It's one of those things you got to come in like 2 weeks in advance and just apply for credentials. I'm like, okay, you're big time. This ain't the PFL. This ain't the UFC. You ain't. You just don't just say you don't got space. Just say you are putting together a pay per view and you don't want people recording that you can't control. I don't say this, but that's in my mind. I'm like, okay, whatever. So I'm like, I'm gonna buy a ticket because I'm gonna film everybody and make it all back anyway by charging people who want stuff. So I buy a ticket, $60. I'm thinking to myself, yeah, not bad. So I go in and I post up and the ticket lady, she was nice about it. She was like, hey, I thought you were getting in because I had talked to her when I was first trying to enter in because she directed me to where the actual entrance I was supposed to go to. So I go back to her and she's like, "Oh, they didn't let you in." I'm like, Nah, they big time. They think they too big for me." I'm like, "Oh, okay." And so she was like, "Well, what I can do is I can put you on the floor level close to the cage if you want. The tickets haven't been bought up yet. Blah 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 blah. Blah. I can do you solid and just give you the rate of a farther back seat and just give you that one." I'm like, "Thank you so much. I appreciate that." And so she does that, and I'm posted pretty close, relatively close to the cage. Not even. Not, I wouldn't say relatively close. Well, I'm decent. I'm in decent range. So I'm down there, and the first thing I do is like, I guess I'm gonna set up my camera, start filming there. But it's kind of like a lot of people are getting ready to fill into this spot. I'm like, I'm not really trying to set up my camera and a tripod. And my camera's bulky. My tripod's big. I'm like, this might affect other people's ability to spectate this event. So I'm like, I look up at the upper deck, ain't nobody up there. I'm like, I mean, since there's nobody up there buying seats, I might as well, take a seat. So I walk up to security and they're right by the stairs. I'm like, hey, can I film from up there? I bought a ticket, the place is empty. Is it cool if I just film up there? And if somebody comes and it's their seat, I'll move. They're like, see, we can't tell you that, but I'm gonna just say and then she was like, I'm just gonna say. And so I'm like, thank you. And so I go up there and I start filming for the first part of the fight. And things are going well, nobody's coming up. And then out of nowhere, the guy who told me downstairs and I couldn't get in was like, hey, did you pay for this seat? I'm like, nah, I paid for a seat. I'm like, I paid for a seat downstairs. Like, listen, man, this is the patron section. If the patrons come up here and you in this section, they gonna lose it. I'm like, all right. I'm like, he's like, this is also a professional grade camera. You can't be filming like this. I'm like, what do you mean I can't be filming like? You gotta have press credentials to be filming like this. I'm like, see, I knew this was gonna happen. I gotta play it up. I'm like, oh, I didn't know that. I didn't know. My bad. I'm my bad. And so he's like, just go downstairs near the bar and just wait for somebody. I'll send somebody down to talk to you. I'm like, they're doing this thing where y'all are really trying to make this seem like this is the Super Bowl. You ain't gonna send nobody down there to come speak to me. It's gonna be you. It's gonna be you. Just stop with the runaround. Just stop it. So I'm down there chilling, and I actually go to my actual seat that I purchased at this point because it's right by the bar anyway. So I'm like, I'm gonna just chill right there. And so I start trying to film fights from that position too, because I'm like, I might as well film while I wait for you to come and get me. And so I'm filming or whatever, and people are just walking in front of the camera. It's tough. I'm like, oh, this is gonna turn out bad. I already know. I'm like, I know what it's supposed to be like because this is my second time filming at this spot, and I was cage side last time in like a specific section. So I'm like, this is gonna be rough with people walking in front and a whole bunch of other factors. And so he finally comes up after the first fight. First fight ended in a last second submission anyway. It was fire. But so he hits me up. He's like, "Hey, do you know who you're trying to film for?" I'm like, "Yeah, Aaron Ward." He gave me his number of this guy who was supposed to get me in, but he couldn't get me in. Blah. He's like, "Well, here's what we'll do. I'll walk you back there. I'll walk you backstage, and if they say you can film for them, you can film for them. But it can only be for them and whoever else you're here to film for. You can't film the whole event." And so in the background, I'm like, "Watch." Watch me. So he takes me back there, and I meet up with his gym, Murcielago MMA. And there's some fighters who I recognize back there. They had this guy named Miguel Torres. Miguel, I can't remember anyway. He fought in the Contender Series. I think he even had a debut. I think, and there was a few other people back there, unrelated team. They even had Cody Stamen, UFC vet, back there. Anyway, I'll get off topic. So I get back there. They're like, yeah, we can film for him. Blah 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 blah. He can film, and so he's like, okay, great. Are there any other fighters on the card that that he can film for? And they don't really say anything for me, but they have other fighters competing on the fight. But I guess they didn't want to like make it seem like I had to do this, so I guess they were just like, no, whatever, whatever. And so while that's happening, I'm like, oh, there are multiple fighters over here getting ready to go. It's not just Aaron. There was two other guys. One guy who graduated from Michigan State who was a wrestler. Another guy who's younger, BJJ guy, strike two. And so I was like, I'm gonna film for them too. And I met the guy who was supposed to be filming for Aaron, and we had some quick talks or whatever. And he was working with them. So what I did was I was like, okay, we marked off on the actual chart of who was competing and who I was actually going to film for. So at this time, it's just for Aaron Ward. And so I'm like, okay, cool. And so he walks away. And then as he walks away, a few minutes pass, and a fighter who I filmed last time for, Reese, he shows up with his team, and he has some guys who are fighting on the card too. And he's like, "Hey, what's up, my man?" And so he dashes him, we talk, and then I'm like, you know how well of a job I did for you the last time I filmed for you. Who do you have here that I can film for? Tell him I'll do it for a very good price. And so he's like, "Oh yeah, I got my boys. Let me just ask him real quick." And so he goes over there, asks him. He has two boys who are fighting, and they're like, "Yeah, you can film for him, blah blah blah. You can film for him." I'm like, "Okay, cool, bet." So I get their names. I know there are two names who are filming. And then, and then I go back over the corner, and there's these two guys who are training. No one's filming them. The guy who's filming for Aaron ain't filming for him. So it's like, okay, he probably paid him, and he's not gonna do anything else for anybody else. I'm like, this provides an opportunity for me. I'm gonna go film for them and then charge them retroactively after the fact, and just I play 4D chess, baby. I play 4D chess, and so I go for Aaron. Well, Aaron is later in the night, but I go for Reese's boys first, and so I'm filming them. Doesn't go too well for one of them. The other one wins a decision too, and then as I'm getting ready to come back to the backstage, because they have to. I didn't get permission for anybody else, and I wasn't really gonna try them so soon. I see one of the other people who fight for Aaron's team coming out, and I'm like, oh, I could swing this. I could swing this. Yeah, I could swing this. But quickly I run back, and because they switched the bout order literally the night of the fight, like right before people were getting ready to go out, they're switching the bout orders multiple times. I'm like, this is gonna work towards my advantage. I'm like, this is an opportunity because now I can play stupid. I can play dumb. And so I run back really quick just to see. and their boy is getting ready to come out, and so I tell there's a security lady. I tell one of the guys the to radio to the other gentleman that told me the exact fights I could go out for, and I told him which fighters gave me permission now. So we've added new fighters to the list from the original one, and because they're so spread out on the card at this point, and they're switching around bout orders, I can sit out there and be like, oh yeah, I was just waiting for the next person to come out because they aren't paying me to go, or I'd spin it like that. We gotta spin it on these boys, spin it on them. So I'm I'm like, all right, perfect. So he's like, okay, cool, I understand. Thank you for, and he was nice too. He was a great guy, and he's just doing his job, and I'm just doing my job. So, so I stay out there and film a few extra fights. Not even. I film a whole bunch of fights back there. But then some I gotta move, sometimes I gotta leave, because then throughout the fights too, it's tough because I'm not in the spot that I was last time. I'm like behind people who were like in the VIP section. So I'm holding my camera, adjusting to people standing up, jumping and screaming too, which makes it even harder to film. So some stuff I can't even use and try and sell to people because the quality is just, it's not where I want it to be to actually charge. And I'm not even charging that much for it. I'm just trying to, at the bare minimum, break even, if not make more. Because I understand this is MMA. I'm not trying to get rich off of it. I'm trying to build together reels so then I can put that out for my portfolio for future opportunities. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not trying to I'm not trying to get rich off of the backs of fighters on local or regional shows. You know what I'm saying? So I'm doing that, and uh, fights happen. Some good stuff recorded, some good stuff I gathered, some bad stuff I can't use, whatever, whatever. And out of nowhere, the man who I've been talking to, who put me on to where I was supposed to sit, comes by, and immediately I'm like, I'm recording somebody who I'm not supposed to be recording right now. This in the middle of the card too, away from any other fighters that should be coming out. I don't got a leg to stand on. I pull the biggest bitch move ever. Biggest move ever. I drop down like this. I'm hiding behind the seats with my camera. I'm like, ooh, you a grown man doing this? Have some shame. I'm like, ooh. This is Detroit at a casino though. So I'm like, if they really want you, they can get me out of there with the cops and security. So I'm like, shh. I gotta be a bitch right now. So I dropped down. I'm like, oh, and I'm hiding. And he walks past. I swear he saw me. He probably was just like, I don't really care, bro. He probably really was like, I don't really care. And this is in the middle of this is in the middle of the fight too. Middle of the fight. So I'm like, I already can't use this footage. This was a fight that went to this guy finished it in the last second of the third round. He was getting dominated for 2 straight rounds. This would have been a hard fight to post. This guy he was trading with Cody Stamen. This would have been the greatest clip I could have sold to him. Like, oh man, this could have put me on. And so missed the perfect moment. So now I missed like a few minutes of the second round. I'm like, I can't sell the full fight. I could probably sell some highlights, maybe. And so I stand back up, and then I see him coming back. So I duck down again, and this was in between rounds. I'm like, oh man. I gotta leave. I'm like, this is not gonna work. So I dip out, and then Aaron's getting ready to fight. A few fights pass, and then we're chilling back there. I'm like, I'm just not gonna test him anymore. That was a sign to stop it. And so finally, for the last fight, well, he's the second to last fight. I go out there, I film his joint, and then I skirt out. I skirt out. And so when I'm leaving this place, I'm thinking to myself, okay, I have about 3 to 4 fights I could realistically sell, maybe 5. And I mean, it's not bad, but it's not what I came for. You know, I wanted the whole event. It was like 15 fights on the card. You know, so between the fights that I couldn't watch because I was waiting, or I was backstage, or I just dipped out early because of fights were changing. I couldn't use stuff because people were standing up. You know, it is what it is. It's what happens when you do a long distance or short notice. And so I get back and I'm able to like make my moves. I'm able to sell some stuff to people. Blah blah blah. I think one of the biggest things that I need to learn is being on people's necks about getting like credentials from the jump. From the jump. And speaking about jumping, there is an event tomorrow. It is in Rochester, New York. I'm going to be there. It is a stacked card in New York. That's why I wanted to go there. It was a lot of people on this card, decently established fighters too. With not too many. I'm making my professional debuts. I'm making my amateur, like people who are established, who have momentum, who are trying to build momentum. I'm like, that's what I'm trying to do. That's what I'm trying to record. Sorry, I got like hair in my mouth from stuff flying in his basement, bro. So, so I contact another fighter. I forget the man, the dude who finally gives, who was like, "Yeah, I'll let you. Yeah, you can do it, whatever, whatever." I'm really like, he doesn't seem to know anything about this card. If it's anything like this new one, if I'm not on this like list at this point, I'm literally gonna go up to a random person and not care. I'm like, "Hey, if you get me in with credentials to do this, I'll give you a free edit, or I'll give you a, I'll do something for you, and then make my money selling stuff to other people. If you let me into an event, I'll never charge you for nothing, straight up." So there's some talented fighters on this card that I'm really excited to do stuff for, and also I still have my connect to MMA fight coverage. I'm gonna reach out to them. They probably gonna be like, "Who are you?" I'm like, rightfully so. I deserve that because UFC has an event in Miami, and I think it would be really cool to go back down to Florida for an event, and also it'd be really cool for to finally cover the UFC. Like I've done regional, I've done the PFL, do the UFC, and so if I can't do that event for them, I'm gonna try and do another event that's like close to my region. Maybe if they're in New York, maybe if they're in like Canada in some parts, do it that way. But we'll see. But yeah, that's what we got cooking right now. And be ready. I'm gonna try and make this into a docu series for this upcoming event tomorrow, just to give me like get my feet wet on how I can put together that style of format, just so I can get better at that. And I'm gonna try and like put out an episode a day, but that's just gonna depend on like the quality of Wi-Fi and like a few other factors. Because I don't know how good the Wi-Fi is gonna be in the place that I'm staying. I also don't know how good my laptop's gonna handle crunching these files. Because even my PC is starting to have problems editing footage from this camera. I'm in the process of buying a new PC. I already got the CPU. Now I just gotta get the GPU and other stuff. But like the more expensive and the higher end stuff that you have, similar with the camera, the more stuff you have to upgrade in order to handle the capabilities of that. So we're gonna see how this docu series goes out, but it will come out. And if I can't do an episode a day, I'll just put it all out after it's happened, and then just set up episode, and have you guys watch that one. Mm. But anyway, yep, that's what we got going on. That's what we got moving, and I'm also gonna get back to doing other stuff too. I gotten my confidence back. I've gotten my work ethic back. I've gotten my drive and my determination back, and my focus level. I think that's the biggest thing. Like I was lacking in all the intangibles that I've been blessed with my entire life, and I got it back now. So, not I got them back now. I earned them back. It's something I had to work for. But yeah. So if you stuck with me, appreciate you. If you didn't stick with me, you had a good reason. I'm not gonna lie. But thank you guys for that. Anyway, see you soon.